going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Twigger, and I have another pro game commentary for you. I know it's been quite some time since I've done one, but I'm excited to be back doing them again by popular demand. I'm going to be focusing today on Team Rocket's ADC Steelback. Of course, this is an EU West LCS team. Excited to see what they're going to bring in the LCS this year, but excited to be doing Steelback here because he's playing one of the new meta champions, Ziggs, in the ADC role, which I don't know, I've seen him a lot nowadays. A lot of people are playing him in the bot lane, particularly because of his satchel charge doing so much damage to turrets. And basically what I've seen here, the crux of this, well, I'm actually not going to talk about that because we have the first gank of the game. Ivern in the bottom lane, currently getting hit up by the Ivern Q. Zyra not going to go down quite yet, but now Steelback taking a lot of damage. Looks like the Thunderlord's coming up from the Karma, not going to be enough to take him down, but definitely a nice little early gank. But now we've also got some damage going down onto the Riven, it seems. Yeah, the Nocturne was up there, but nothing seemed to happen. But just in regards to Ziggs as a champion in the bot lane, very, very amazing thing because of his satchel charge. I think we have to talk about that. Why do you guys have to put all the action right here when I'm trying to get through this? But a lot of damage coming up from Ziggs. Doesn't look like first blood is going to happen quite yet. But we do have another gank happening though on the mid laner. Rai's going to have to pop that ghost. He might just try to fight the Cassiopeia to try to get first blood, and he does manage to do it in a 2v1 scenario, getting that first blood onto the Cassiopeia, even though the Ivern was there. I think Rai just realized that he was in a situation that he couldn't really escape, so he might as well just turn and try to get that first blood on the low HP Cassiopeia, but very nicely done. So now we're focused on the Ziggs. I don't care what I miss, but playing Ziggs in the bot lane, it's all about his satchel charge. And if you guys haven't seen this yet, the satchel charge will explode structurally unsound turrets below 25% of their health. What that means is that when a turret is at 25% of its health or lower, all you have to do is throw out your W and the entire turret will explode. It's an insane amount of damage on a turret that's just at 25% of its HP, because, you know, when you get a turret to 25% HP, you're still feeling pretty confident that that thing's going to be around for another couple waves. But that is not the case with Ziggs, and what these guys tend to do as Ziggs in the bot lane, they still tend to build them kind of AP, sometimes a little bit hybrid, but you tend to go for a Lich Bane item very, very soon, so you've got that Sheen proc, and you just become a turret-destroying machine. You just constantly throw out your abilities, get the Sheen proc onto the turrets to get that extra magic damage, and then you use your satchel charge when it hits 25% and the turret's gone. Then, like a standard ADC, you just start roaming and doing a lot of damage. But it looks like the bomb coming out, not going to be enough to get to the Karma. But we are seeing, though, and I feel so bad for this Caitlyn Karma lane because it's a Zyra and a Ziggs. There's the flash coming out of the Caitlyn. The Ivern shield going down, a couple shields going down as well. But it looks like the damage to the heal bait coming out, and it actually is going to keep the Caitlyn alive. A great heal bait, and that is going to be a double kill in the bot lane. One going to Karma and one going over to the Caitlyn. Man, that was an unfortunate series of events, but very nice heal bait from the Caitlyn. It looks like we actually do have a DC here. The Zyra... well, hopefully she comes back. I hope that fight wasn't because, well, it wasn't lost because she DC'd, but, you know, hopefully we come back here. But going in regards to just who's playing in this game, in terms of characters, we have up in the top lane, Riven versus Poppy. In the jungle, of course, we've seen the Ivern a few times going up against that Nocturne. In the mid lane, we've got Cassiopeia versus Rise. And then in the bot lane, we do, of course, have that Caitlyn Karma versus Ziggs Zyra, which is hilarious. I'm glad that we got both the Z's, or Zeds, because I'm Canadian. Sorry, everybody. But, yeah, definitely an interesting lane. And I feel bad for the Caitlyn and the Karma. Even though they did really, really well in that fight, I could not imagine the amount of poke coming out of the Ziggs Zyra lane. Because, like, either one of those champions by themselves is hard enough to deal with. I know especially Zyra, the amount of damage that she throws out in her poke is absolutely ridiculous. So to add a Ziggs into that is just terrible. But it's kind of an interesting thing of how these the blue side is going to try to deal with the Ziggs. Is that in order for Ziggs in the ADC role to kind of be that split push, pushing monster, you have to be able to push out your lane and get it under the turret and start doing damage to the turret. But it looks like the blue side kind of going for Caitlyn and Karma, two people who are very, very good at pushing lanes with the Piltover Peacemaker and with Karma's Q. You know, you can do a decent job at kind of sustaining your lanes against the Ziggs Zyra. So, and as we can see, like, it's currently stuck in the middle. So I think Ziggs loses a lot here by not being able to push this lane under the turret. And to be honest, I don't know how much Ziggs Steelback plays, but we do have another gank in this bot lane. Ivern just being his creepy old self. Does manage to land the Q onto the Zyra, but they're not going to follow up on that one. So yeah, I don't know also how much Ziggs Steelback has played. It's one of those things that it's like, yeah, it's a good champion right now. I don't know what Riven's doing. I wonder if there might have been a DC there. Oh, no. So there you go. With the last auto attack after the flash. Poppy, of course, getting her passive back, getting that long range attack. Look at the damage. 2 plants and a Ziggs bomb, and Karma's basically dead. Oh my gosh, that is just, it is tilting just watching that happen. But we do have the Ivern once again coming into this bot lane. I think they are recognizing that Ziggs is going to be an issue if he lets this guy get any stronger. But there we go, the Daisy coming out. Look at this, one more auto attack, going to get knocked out. No, not even going to need it quite yet, but it looks like, wow, that's all happening in the mid lane. The tabs on the Nocturne is going to be able to pick up the... And is it actually Origin's tabs? I think it very well might be. I was looking at op.gg and I saw that tabs was playing. So this might also be Origin's tabs on this one, playing Nocturne. But so both the people went down in the bot lane. Ziggs and Zyra both fell to Daisy. Luckily, there was kind of a return kill in the mid lane onto the Cassiopeia. Ryza and Nocturne picking that one up. The kill going to Nocturne. But, oh geez, so there's the Ghost coming out of the Rise. I don't know if Riven is going to have enough to take this one down, but Nocturne is still here as well. But the ultimate from Riven is there. Not going to be enough to clean up the Rise, and now the Fear going down onto the Riven, but they are just going to run away from this one. Barely the Rise gets away with such a small amount of HP. But here's the damage going down onto the Zyra as well. My god, she just came back into lane, and Caitlyn does not have enough mana to use her ultimate. That would have been a dead Zyra if Caitlyn had mana, but... sadly, they are just going to back off of that one. She did have her ace in the hole, but not the mana to use it. So I think I like what they're doing right now. I think they understand that the Ziggs meta right now is really, really strong. So they're doing a couple things to kind of combat that, right? They got a very strong lane clear bot lane with Karma and Caitlyn, and they are continuously sending the Ivern down to that bot lane just to make sure that the Ziggs doesn't get out of control. I don't know if it's necessarily the best thing right now. They do have a lot of kills onto the Caitlyn, which is great for them, and it looks like right now the bot lane is rotating into this mid lane. The thing is, why I don't know if it's going to be worth it yet, is that their mid laner is really suffering. And Cassiopeia has that Tear of the Goddess, and she, of course, needs to stack that up as quickly as possible to get her strength up. But with all that being said, like, Ryze already has the Catalyst, already has the Tear of the Goddess. He's already been stacking it for quite some time. Like, it's already at almost 200 stacks. So... it's one of those, like, do you sacrifice your bottom lane to get your Ryze really, really strong? And it seems as though that's what the red team wants to do right now. And they are actually swapping the lane. I don't understand this at all. Right now, the Cassiopeia is in the bot lane. And watch this, guys. Ready for this? Are you guys ready to witness it? Come on, Ziggs. Boom! And there it is. A quarter of the health of the turret going down instantly with one ability. And you just saw, like, that was, what a turn, right? They just got the second turret of the game. Caitlyn and Karma did get the first turret, but it was just, it didn't take much time at all. It just took a couple people, but there's going to be the ultimate coming down from Poppy to get the Karma away from this one. Trying to get the sun on the wall, not going to be enough, but the flash coming up from the Nocturne, and that is going to be enough. Currently, Poppy taking up the turret. Daisy is coming out. Nocturne going to take a turret shot, and it looks like Haddo's Karma is going to be enough to take down the Nocturne after that very long tower dive. Right now, the Ryze trying to land a couple spells onto the Ivern, but Daisy doing a great job at holding everybody off that gigantic cupcake monster. I don't know what I would do if I saw that thing in real life, but probably be absolutely terrified. But once again, we have Ziggs coming into the lane with a very low health turret, and boom! And there it is, the second turret of the game. So this is kind of what we were talking about. I hope that you guys can kind of see what other players are seeing with this this Ziggs in this meta. The thing is, like, I feel like you could bring Ziggs wherever you want, right? Like, Ziggs in the mid lane kind of does the same thing, but normally in the mid lane, you're dealing with people who have decent wave clear, and you get more support with the Ziggs, and I think it's just kind of the standard meta of, in the bot lane, when you take your turret, you tend to roam into the mid lane, and then you roam to the top lane, and you try to take out those turrets, and I think Ziggs just makes it a lot easier. But there was a nice combo. She didn't get knocked up, sadly, by the Zyra ultimate. I did manage to get out of that one, but it's going to be an interesting combo with the Zyra ulti followed by the Ziggs ulti, right? Because they will get held up in that circle, and then all you have to do is match your Ziggs ultimate with that Zyra circle, and you should be able to get quite a bit of damage down. But I think that's why people are playing Ziggs in the bot lane now, is that you take down your early first turret in the bot lane, then you move up to the mid lane, then you move up to the top lane, and you take these turrets so quickly. Ziggs now does have his Morellonomicon. That is a very, very big item for Ziggs to get. Gives you that mana regen. And the cooldown reduction that you desperately need to push these lanes in. But right now, the blue side is trying to respond to this Ziggs pressure by trying to take a mid lane turret of their own. But here comes the Rise. Missing a bunch of Qs. Rise, buddy, come on now. There we go, and there's the Ghost coming out. The ultimate is going to be flashed, but he did still get locked up by that ultimate, but he had already launched a Q while he was flashing into that, so very nicely done. But it looks like the Zyra getting caught up as well by the Ivory Q. Not going to be enough quite yet. The heal coming out from Steelback, and that is going to be enough to save the Zyra's life. Ace in the hole is still available for the Caitlyn, but of course, Ziggs could just block that, but man, that was very close. So the flash being burned by the Zyra and the heal being burned by the Ziggs. Very, very nice trap just to catch the Zyra out of position. And now we've got the Ivern, the Karma, and the Caitlyn currently pushing in on this mid lane turret. Yeah, we just haven't seen the Ziggs be able to do the same type of wave clear that this Karma Caitlyn have been able to do. And now it looks like Poppy and Riven once again duking it out. Right now, Poppy does have the lead 2-0-0 with the 0-1-0 of the Riven, but the CS is incredibly even, 95-93. And right now, just kind of going through the CS, 63 for the Nocturne, 53 for the Ivern, 100-82 in favor of the Rise, but 109-86 in favor of Caitlyn. And then, of course, you got your supports with 6 and 4. Perfect time to finish off that explanation, because right now, Daisy is out again, chasing down the Poppy. Riven has popped her ultimate as well. That blade is now put together again. Not going to land the Sunny. She's going to try to knock everybody away, but it does go towards her base, not away from her. So just kind of sealing her own fate here, and it is going to go to Riven for the kill on that one. And right now the Rise is finding the Cassiopeia split pushing once again, and that is going to be a dead snake. We can make some sweet boots out of that snake. I don't really like what Poppy did there, using the ultimate the way that she did, but here we go. There's the ultimate from the Nocturne, a huge amount of damage, and that's what happens when you get that Warrior enchantment on the Nocturne. Crazy amounts of damage onto that Karma. I was gonna call it Kogma? It was a Karma, but exactly what I was saying before of just the Poppy using her ultimate, it does not launch the person away from you, like away from the area that they fired it. It always goes towards the base, but here's the combo again. Huge amounts of damage. The Daisy coming out again. I can't believe the Daisy's up again. Or maybe this is the same Daisy. No, it was the same Daisy. My God. But here we go. The Zyra is going to die, but Ziggs holding his own and making sure that he can take down the Ivern, and I believe, no, it was not a shutdown or anything like that. He's just gotten a lot of assists, but that was a double kill. What? I don't know how that was a double kill. Oh, because it was the Caitlyn followed by the Ivern. Okay, that makes more sense. So it looks like, sadly though, it was the Zyra who got both kills. Even through death, the plant seemed to take out the Ivern as well. So it's a great thing because he'd rather get the kills, but it's a crappy thing because, of course, oh, here comes the Rise again. We've seen this before, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a TP, but a great Cassiopeia ultimate onto the Rise, but is it going to be enough? No, it's not. He's now going to have to run away from this one. His Ghost is almost available, but running away from a Riven is always incredibly tough. The flash coming out from the Riven, they're trying to land that final proc of her Q, but it looks like the Ghost is almost available. Is he going to have to use it? He's trying to run there, and he's going to be able to get away from that one. Spamming the level 4 mastery. What a hero. And it looks like now they're actually chasing down onto the Riven. The Zyra is here as well, getting a lot of plants out, getting that roots available, but it's not going to be enough to take down the Riven. The Nocturne is now here, does not have his Nightmare ultimate, but it is getting pretty close. And it looks like right now, of course, Daisy is up once again. Man, I always forget how annoying Ivern is as a champion, but man, he always proves that he is incredibly annoying to deal with. But Daisy is now just kind of lumbering around, not really being able to figure out what to do, it seems. And gonna get smited away. Man, the BM on that one. But that was a 50 gold smite, so I'll take that. Right now, it looks like Poppy just crunching down onto the top lane, but oh no, the Cassiopeia, oh sorry, the Riven caught out again. Oh, being taken down by the Rise. So this is one of those things that, oh, and it looks like Cassiopeia actually also getting caught out a little bit. But here comes the Nocturne, big team fight, which is what we were looking for. The Ziggs ultimate coming down on top of the Zyra ultimate. That's going to be an instant double kill. Nocturne picking up the first one onto the Caitlyn, and Ziggs taking down the Karma. But while all that was going on, Poppy in the top lane taking down the Cassiopeia. I feel so bad for the Cassiopeia right now. It's just 0-6-0, but she kind of got sacrificed in her lane. It was basically the Nocturne focusing on the Cassiopeia with the Rise, and then the Ivern going down to the bot lane to help this bot lane. But this is exactly what we were talking about. Now you have a very fed Rise, 5-0 and 2, finding the Cassiopeia all the time in that bot lane. And you've got a 3-3 and 3 Caitlyn. Like, she hasn't really extended her lead that much whatsoever. But the flash coming out from the Ivern getting locked up, and it looks like, once again, the satchel charge coming down and blowing up that turret very, very quickly. We are seeing a little bit of a different Ziggs build, though. Normally you tend to see Ziggs go exactly for... Oh, actually, I'm going to talk about the fight right now. Ziggs getting caught out completely by this Riven. The flash coming out immediately from the Zyra to try to get away from the damage from this Riven. That was a great little pick-off right there. Like, the Ziggs is not very strong in terms of HP or defensive stats. So, of course, you can kind of just jump in on him. As long as you lock him down, he's going to be a dead man. But in terms of the Ziggs build, we have not yet seen the Sheen come out. So it means that his pushing potential on turrets is a lot less. But he's going for, it looks like, kind of more of a standard AP Ziggs mid build, which I still appreciate, but I thought that they were going to go a little bit more ham for the turrets. But Daisy coming out once again, going in onto the Zyra. The third attack is not going to be able to knock her up. No, it is going to knock her up. She is not going down quite yet, though. The Fear Tether going in only onto the Daisy, but Daisy is going to go down. We still have the ultimate from the Ziggs available. It looks like the Rise is going to come into this one. A lot of damage going down onto the Riven. The Ghost coming down from the Rise, but is going to get slowed by that 90 caliber net, and then the Trap is going to lock him down. So just a wasted summoner spell. But Ziggs with the alley-oop. Kobe on that one. The Karma going down, but the Ziggs taking down the Riven while all that was happening, and it looks like the exiled Riven on Poppy is going to take down the Caitlyn as well, and Nocturne getting away with a sliver of health remaining, and it looks like now they're sending their attention to the mid lane inhibitor turret. I am not entirely sure what the Cassiopeia is doing. By the looks of things, the way that I would view this, because I've seen this happen in many of my games, and I know that a lot of you have seen this happen as well, is that the Cassiopeia had a really, really crummy lane, didn't get the help that she wanted, and now it looks like she's just split pushing and she doesn't want to help her team at all. That's what happens in my ELO. I don't know about your ELO, but definitely let me know if that does happen to you guys, because that's what it looks like is happening right now. Like, they're pinging the Cassiopeia. She's currently very far up, so I'm assuming that she's going to die. Like, that I can almost guarantee. But it looks like there is a blue buff available, but it looks like the Riven is gonna get it. Yeah, the Ivern ends up picking it up. But Cassiopeia now trying to get in onto this Zyra, but is going to use that explosive plant to get away from that one. They do have the Karma Tether currently onto the Nocturne. Is going to get locked up, but are they going to have enough damage? A nice crit coming down from the Caitlyn, but they don't have enough slow potential to really actually stop the Nocturne. But the Riven coming right over, getting a double stun, does have that ultimate up, but is going to get absolutely blown up by Zyra and Rise. So I really like the tenacity of that play, jumping over and getting an amazing double stun, but not quite enough. The Zyra going to lock down the Ivern and the Daisy, and now here comes the Poppy ultimate, going to knock Daisy and the Cassiopeia away. Very, very nicely done on that one. Not looking like they're going to want to start a fight with this Daisy up. They might just want to take that thing out first and then possibly try to force a fight. But while all this was going on, Steelback down here took down the inhibitor turret and is now pushing this inhibitor, and it just looks like the red team has no issue fighting this all by themselves. Ziggs still just doing exactly what Ziggs does best, pushing constantly, but the Riven is now here, so Ziggs might be in a little bit of trouble. Flashes the Riven, amazing. He's gonna probably die anyway, so at least his team is now here for the fight, using the Satchel Charge to get away. Does get away from the Karma Tether. This is a huge fight right now. The Cassiopeia is gonna take a lot of damage from the Nocturne and the Ziggs, but it looks like they are gonna just retreat from this fight. They do not want it. Cassiopeia trying to get the Steelback Ziggs, but is going to be enough to finally take him down. Cassiopeia is now finally worth money again, getting her first kill of the game onto Steelback Ziggs, but of course Ziggs just responds with the kill. There is the surrender vote, ladies and gentlemen. They just could not handle it. So I hope you guys did enjoy that one. I always like it when I can find a pro player playing a game with kind of a new meta champion, to try to see how they do it and if it's actually good. We did see that he struggled in the early game. Of course, the Ivern attention did provide a lot of help for the Caitlyn and the Karma, and it was a good counter. The Caitlyn Karma did manage to deal with the split push of the Ziggs, but once you start grouping up and once you start pushing those turrets, that Satchel Charge does so much to taking down turrets. It's so hard to deal with, and you can't forget the 7-0 and 8 Rise. Very nice game from the Rise over top of that Cassiopeia. But thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this video with your friends if you enjoyed it. Also, let me know if you want me to continue doing pro game commentaries. I love doing them, so let me know in the comment section below if you want me to continue these. And also give me suggestions for pro players that you want me to do commentaries of. I'm always listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Twigger, and I will see you guys in the next video.